what if I told you that the biggest thing that's between you and God's next step for your life is your obedience? Because you're being tested right now. You may not even be able to recognize it. And that's why in today's video, I'm going to be showing you signs that God is testing your obedience and why your response is so crucial. Because a lot of the time before God entrusts us with more, he tests our obedience in our current situation, in our current environment, and what we currently have, stewardship over. So let's get into it. So the number one sign is the same temptation keeps showing up. Those same temptations. And the reason that this happens is because of this. God is testing to see how you're going to react under the constant pressure. Because a lot of the time, these temptations are things that we struggle with in the past, things that had a stronghold and had, us binded in the past, and we see deliverance from those things, and we put those things to the past. We consider those the former things, and we are walking in the new. But for some reason, all of a sudden, those things are now attacking you aggressively, non-stop, and it feels like you can't get a break. And the reason is because the enemy is trying to tire you out. He's trying to wear you down. He's trying to bombard you so that you eventually give in and fall short. And the thing isn't if you do, make that mistake of falling short. It's if you do fall short, the enemy tries to now get into your mind, infiltrate your mind, and get you to believe that, see, you were never going to be able to get over this. Because even though God delivered you from this, you were tested with it and you failed again. So this is just something that you're never going to be able to get away from. So just continue in it. But those are lies from the devil. Those are lies from the enemy. But that is the reason that it happens. So God is sitting back and testing your faithfulness and testing your obedience. So number 2 is delayed blessings even through obedience. And what does that mean? What that means is this. A lot of the times we are walking in spirit. We're walking according to the calling in which we've been called, and we're doing it as worthy as we can. We're trying our best and we're staying consistent. And we know that the blessings are going to come because anytime you are obedient to the Lord, he is going to bless you with increase. He's going to bless you with, and that could be spiritual as well as financial, as well as relational. All the possibilities, they're going to come. They are on the horizon. But a lot of the times, even when we continue to be obedient, the blessing is delayed. The reason behind it is preparation. Because right now you're not ready, even though on a surface level, even though through your own lens or through your eyes or through your own understanding, you feel ready because you've been being obedient. God sees the other things that you don't see, the little cracks that he still has to seal up in you to prepare you, or not even just that. He's trying to build you up to a point of maturity so that you can handle this blessing to the best of your ability. He's preparing you for it. You don't want to go into things prematurely because that's where you can stumble or where you can lose the blessing, misuse the blessing, and not be a good steward of that blessing. So God has to prepare you for it. But the other thing is a test of your genuineness. Are you being performative? Because a lot of the time people will be obedient because they're like, oh, but through this obedience, I'm going to receive this new level up. And that is their main focus. Their main priority is just what they can receive from God through being obedient. Opposed to your heart should be in the space of whether I receive a blessing or not, I'm doing this out of my fear and out of my love for God. I'm doing this because this is what God asks of me. I'm doing this because I want to show the Lord that I am grateful for his sacrifice. It's a hard thing. And a lot of the times we might not even realize it, but God is able to, like I said, see things that we don't see. He understands us better than we understand ourselves. And sometimes we might deceive ourselves and we might think we're doing it out of genuineness. Oh, I'm being obedient because of this, and that. But in reality, our biggest, our biggest, you know, factor that's fueling us to be obedient is just what can we get out of it. And God has to work on our heart because, like I said, it's not wrong to want the blessings. We know that it's coming, but God has to work on our heart to tweak it a little bit more so that we are doing things because of what he asked of us and that it is genuine and not performative. So number 3 is when obedience causes you social approval, because what you have to understand is this: the world hated Jesus, and us being his followers, you know, us being of Christ, we are going to receive that same hate. And what you guys don't, or what you guys have to understand is this: when you're operating in the manner of the world, with these worldly friends, with these worldly influences, with these people, everyone loves you. But as soon as you step away, as soon as you are now awakened and that veil is removed from in front of your eyes and you see things for what they truly are, you're looked at as the weird one, the problem, because you want to step back from the norms of society. And it's just like how it talks about in the Bible: what's wise is foolish to this world because everything is backwards. It's spiritually dead. People don't have the spirit to be able to receive the revelation of what wisdom is and what how we should truly be operating in life. So at times this will cost you your social approval because now you're the weird one. But hey, we count it all as joy. We count it all as joy because my approval, our approval is the only approval we should be worried about is Christ. So if it costs us worldly approval, that means we're doing something right. That means you're doing something. That means you're headed down the right path and you're fighting this good fight that God calls you to walk. So number 4 is God's asking you to let go. And this is really hard because that let go, he might be asking you to let go of, you know, a relationship, a friendship. You know, it could be a career. It could be a habit. You know, it could be something materialistic, you know, some sort of material that's becoming an idol. When God calls you to let go, it's never easy because it's something that you're drawn to. It's something that, you know, if it's a relationship or a friendship, it's something that you have love for, that you have a bond with. You know, if it's a career, something, you know, you have security in. It's something that is hard to let go of because of what you're deeming as a loss. But little do you know that that relationship that is holding you back, that relationship that is separating you from Christ, on the other side of you letting go of, you know, that girl, God has a woman that is being prepared specifically for you to bring you closer to Christ. Just like you're about to get prepared to be that man for that woman. If it's friendship, you know, you let go of that friendship, but God has on that other side, on that next level, friends that are going to build you up, friends that are of like-mindedness. That career you're holding on to, it might be financially secure, but you feel drained and you feel so empty doing it and you hate the job itself, but God's about to call you into something that brings you purpose and brings you fulfillment that goes beyond money. That habit, the habit that's holding you back, that's keeping you comfortable, you know, that material thing that you're holding on to that is becoming an idol. It's always hard when God's calling you to let go, but how can you receive with your hands filled and your hands closed? You can't. So God is testing your obedience. And that's why I stated earlier, the thing that is in between you and what God has next for your life, the things that God is preparing for you, is your obedience or lack of. Number 5 is that you continue walking in spirit even while craving the flesh. What does that mean? That means even when you're being tempted, even maybe when you fell short, you fell into the flesh, you stumbled and you fell back into the former things. Or maybe you haven't fell into temptation, but you're being tempted and you're getting ready to give in. You're starting to grow tired and weary of doing what's right. Even through that, you continue walking in spirit. You continue fighting the flesh. You continue strengthening your spirit, creating strategies and being intentional and taking action to keep that spirit on fire. Even when the flesh is raging war, even when your members are screaming at you, dying, they're dying for you to just give in. Just feed the flesh just a little bit. This is a huge sign that God is testing your obedience. It's when you're in this type of season, man. Number 6 is the same message or conviction keeps popping up, and it can pop up through different ways. I mean, it could be through, a sermon, a YouTube video, like what I'm, giving to you right now. It could be through friends. It could be through family, but through these different outlets that it keeps popping up, they have no connection. Like, you're watching this YouTube video, right? You don't know me. So you seeing this has nothing to do, the connection has nothing to do with if you go to church on, Sunday and your pastor gives a similar message to what I'm saying. Because I don't know your pastor. I don't live in your state and I don't know you, nothing like that. And then your friend, maybe from back in the day, that you keep in contact with every so often, gives you the same message. So you're hearing the same thing, but just from different resources that have no connection, to each other. That right there is a sign right there. And a lot of the times when that happens, this got to be a sign. It is. You know what I'm saying? This is one of the signs that God's testing your obedience. And what I mean by that is this is the outlet that it comes through, but maybe it's about start that channel or walk away from that person, or God calling you to forgive someone or to have more faith or to, not be anxious, whatever the case may be, but you're hearing it through different sources and multiple sources, but it's the same message. It's centered around the same message. That is a sign. And the last one I got is you being obedient when it doesn't make sense. What does that mean? That could be, you might not be financially secure right now. You might need help yourself right now, but for some reason you're out and God's telling you, help that person. Buy that person something to eat. You're on your last couple dollars, man, but you see someone homeless, man, give it. You give it. It doesn't make sense because it's like, I need it. I'm struggling myself. I need help. No one's helping me, but God's telling you to help someone while you're the one that needs help. Because are you going to trust the Lord? Are you going to obey the Lord when it doesn't make sense to you, when it doesn't seem beneficiary to you? Maybe God's telling you, you just got this career, this job that you've been, working up to get, or maybe this position in your job place, and now all of a sudden God's telling you, you know what, I need you to move. I need you to move to this state, and I want you to pursue this. This is your calling. That doesn't make sense to us at times. I mean, to our human brains, we can't comprehend. It's like, I've been working my whole life for this. I went to school for this. I'm finally at this position to make this type of money, and you're telling me to go? It doesn't make sense, but it doesn't have to make sense. It's just what God's testing is, are you going to obey? And like I said at the beginning of the video, are you going to obey? And the reason why your response is so crucial, because a lot of the time, the only thing that's standing in between you and everything that God has for you is your own self and your own decision to disobey the Lord and not be obedient. So I'm gonna leave y'all with that, man. Like, comment, subscribe if I haven't already. Share, turn on post notifications, man. I'll see y'all during the next